and supporting him when it mattered most.
To win against Anthony, but here I am with a broken jaw, learning the hard way. I'll heal.
Listen, shout out to JakePaul. That motherfucker believes in himself, and I love that about him. I love that he went in there, held his balls, and Anthony Joshua went in there too to say, hey, I'm here.
He's looking to the stars, isn't he? Yeah, he's gone us there. Good stoppage, I think. We don't want to see anyone lose their life. I think it was a good stoppage. This fellow with the vest been loving it all the way through. I think he did all right, though. He did do all right, JakePaul, to be fair.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, God. I don't know about boxing.
I think JakePaul will knock him out.
Oh.
If I'm honest, the whole fight was terrible on it. It was just so bad. It was just on it. A proper bad fight for AJ.
Anthony Joshua absolutely destroyed JakePaul and shattered the fantasy in brutal fashion. But the real chaos didn't begin with the knockout itself. It started afterward, when the Paul brothers tried to rewrite reality and spin a completely one-sided beating into a so-called moral victory that instantly set the boxing world on fire.
My mom has it.
Your brother fought his ass off, man. I mean, other heavyweights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
Right.
Like, minus the actual victory, obviously, of course, but bro, like, no one expected him to last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that. He at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring to bring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet, who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane.
As the dust settled, reactions exploded everywhere because this wasn't just another fight. It became a full referendum on hype versus history. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion, with Justin Gaethje level delusions spilling into heavyweight boxing territory as analysts broke down every second like it was a crime scene.
When it mattered most.
To win against Anthony, but here I am with a broken jaw, learning the hard way. I'll heal. I'll be back.
I'm a little scuffed, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
Anthony Joshua also shared his reaction.
Anthony Joshua also shared his reaction. Stay locked in, because in just a moment, I'm exposing the single moment in this fight where JakePaul's entire illusion completely collapsed. And once you see it, you'll understand exactly why this narrative never survives.
His teeth look a bit removed as well. Yeah, his teeth have come out of place. But credit to him, he done well. But I told him what was going to happen, but it just took 6 rounds to do that.
People will criticise you for going 6 rounds with JakePaul. How do you feel about that?
I deserve it.
Why?
Because, like, we're elite fighters. Like, so I put myself in the shoes of a coach. If I was coaching Anthony Joshua and he went 6 rounds with JakePaul, I would get him back in the gym tomorrow, give him a bit of a beating, and we're getting straight back to work, because I'll be like, how are you letting this kid take you 6 rounds? He's crazy. In boxing, there's a time when you systematically break someone down and you see their soul leaving their body.
While Joshua did give JakePaul credit where it was due, he also made it clear that Logan Paul wasted no time jumping in front of cameras, claiming Jake won 4 rounds. Not 3. Not 2.
Actually punish you round after round. And like, I wanted this to be slow and methodical. I swear, I dropped down now. And I just kept on hitting him. Sorry, go. Bro, I hit you for everyone in England. I was hitting him. I kept on hitting him. And I could see, I had that mentality where I was like, remember in the press conference I said, he's Iverson and I'm Jordan? And I was like, I'm gonna just keep breaking him down. Because he was elusive, he was moving well.
Pushing the idea that toughness somehow equals victory. But when the man across from you breaks your jaw and sends you to the hospital, scorecards stop mattering. That's the controversy that split the sport in half, with half the internet praising courage while the other half laughed at the idea that surviving a beating somehow means winning. And this argument isn't dying anytime soon.
That's where his toughness really showed.
Listen, shout out to JakePaul. That motherfucker believes in himself, and I love that about him. I love that he went in there, held his balls, and Anthony Joshua went in there too to say, hey, I'm here, I never left, and just to showcase that everybody was entertained tonight, and that's the purpose, right? Boxing is entertainment, and everybody was entertained for sure.
Man, it was impressive. He took, the right hand a couple times. I've seen heavyweights take the right hand one time, and that was a wrap. I mean, deserves a lot of credit.
He does, he does, and again, this is the combat world, so shit happens, but you get back up, get back in the gym, and if he loves it just as much as I do, he knows that it's not the end, it's just the beginning.
Keep watching, because the next detail reveals why this fight ending in 6 rounds wasn't a failure for Joshua. It was a warning. Jake Paul promised a knockout and instead got knocked out himself. His jaw broken, his confidence cracked, and his entire vision of boxing violently corrected. And in that hospital moment, reality hit harder than any right hand Joshua threw.
Respect to Jake Paul that we took a few rounds to get going because Jake was moving a lot and holding a lot, and it was difficult to nail him clean, I think. But eventually AJ took his time, cut him off, and smashed him about. And listen, respect to Jake Paul, because that last shot, I know he broke his shattered his jaw, but it would have knocked most heavyweights out, so I've got to give him credit.
I was going to say, in the end, are you pleased with that? Because obviously everyone was saying this has to go there with this, that and the other, but it's awkward when you've got a fighter who's moving a lot.
We knew he'd move. I didn't expect him to move that much, but listen, he didn't just run, he threw at times. Like, it wasn't, but early on, very difficult to cut the ring off against someone who's moving so much, but also the rustiness of 15 months out.
That's when the tone completely changed. Gratitude replaced bravado. Suddenly, the man who once said he would conquer the heavyweight division was thanking his brother for standing by him through the wreckage. Then Anthony Joshua spoke calmly and coldly, admitting the criticism was coming, admitting that 6 rounds raised eyebrows, but owning it fully because in his mind, this fight was never about speed. It was always about punishment.
I'm gonna knock his head off in a minute. Oh, yeah, it's over. There's no coming back from that. Yeah, over. 6th round.
He's looking to the stars, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone as there. Good stoppage, I think. We don't want to see anyone lose their life. I think it was a good stoppage. This fellow with the vest been loving it all the way through. I think he did alright though. He did do alright, Jake Paul, to be fair.
What are you thinking if you're Anthony Joshua at this point?
I'd be absolutely buzzing. 50 mil in the bank. Easy fight. Get another one going quick, I say.
Who?
I don't know. Tyson Fury. Someone like that.
Joshua revealed the truth most people missed. He wasn't chasing a highlight reel moment. He was breaking Jake down piece by piece, round by round, draining him, hurting him, and proving a point the slow way so there would be no excuses left. Don't click away yet, because what came next exposed the psychological gap between a YouTuber playing boxer and a heavyweight who understands how souls leave bodies in the ring.
I don't know. Get his fight with Tyson Fury going 5 years too late, but
still,
Jake's still sticking his tongue out and doing all kinds. But he did alright, Jake. It was entertaining, I guess.
Eddie's laughing.
Eddie's having a giggle.
While some laughed, others gave Jake Paul credit, pointing out that he took right hands that have flattened real heavyweights and somehow kept moving. He survived longer than almost anyone expected, which only fueled the argument even more. That split reaction turned the fight into a cultural debate, not about who won, but about what winning even means when entertainment collides with elite violence.
The price for your sponsor in this video. Now let's get back to me having this bad take about Jake Paul knocking out Anthony Joshua. Shame on DJ.
Then Eddie Hearn stepped in smiling, because for him this wasn't confusion at all. It was confirmation. He had said Anthony Joshua would destroy Jake Paul. And that's exactly what happened, just slower and more methodical than fans demanded.
That tempo change, he doesn't really have that yet. And I think for somebody who's successful, wealthy, can have the state-of-the-art training, that should be something that it should come natural, right? So, but I would like to see Jake Paul take a little more training, work on certain technical things, work on the cardio, maybe even come down a weight, right? I mean, I think he could probably lose a little weight, get more shredded, and be a lot faster than being a cruiserweight. I don't know what that weight class is. And I'd like to see him fight a boxer, not an influencer, a boxer. I'd love to see him fight Darren Till, a real fighter who's good at boxing, a good size, big man. And I'd just like to see him continue to fight, not guys that are influencers, but guys who...
According to Hearn, Joshua's patience wasn't hesitation. It was strategy. He dealt with the movement, controlled the awkward pace, and waited until the opening finally appeared before the hammer dropped. But just when the narrative seemed settled, criticism poured in hard, with voices calling this one of Joshua's worst performances, pointing to rust, lack of urgency, and a fight that should have ended much earlier.
6 rounds, got JakePaul out of there, dropped him. I think he got stopped on his feet, counted out, knocked out, whatever, however you want to call it. It wasn't a bad knockout. It wasn't an El Sparko. He wasn't rendered unconscious, but he got done. He got it on the chin. He went over. He didn't beat the count. He was sort of up on his feet. But if I'm honest, the whole fight was terrible, wasn't it? It was just so bad. It was just shit, wasn't it? A proper bad fight for AJ. And let me start with AJ. AJ was following him around the ring a little bit, sort of pouring with the jab, putting the jab on the shoulder of JakePaul, sort of putting him in the corner, and not really pulling the trigger on the right hand. He didn't seem to be motivated to go in there and just smash JakePaul into oblivion in the first 1 or 2 rounds, which I think he could have done. But he's been out of the ring 15 months, a bit slow on his feet, a bit ring rust maybe.
That's where the debate exploded again, because some saw a flawed champion, while others saw a professional doing exactly what was needed. That divide is what keeps this fight alive in conversation. Stay with me, because the next reaction completely flips the script and challenges everything critics said about Joshua that night.
Amateurs, even when I was a world champion pro, if you're not motivated, sometimes you can have a couple of bad rounds and you're sort of looking at your opponent and a jab hits you or right hand hits you. And I think AJ was in a bit of a daze early on, just walking him around, touching the jab on his shoulder, not really pulling the trigger on the right hand. Didn't look like he got out of first gear. JakePaul was just on pure survival mode from round 1 right through to round 6. I don't know if he's got a moral victory going 6 rounds. Maybe he has. People might give him credit for going 6 rounds, but he got in there and just survived. He just went in there and ran like a chicken from round 1 right through to round 6 when he got splattered. And it's like, it's just, you can't really justify what he's done, because this is supposed to be a professional sanctioned boxing match.
Joseph Parker shut the noise down, defending Joshua's approach, praising the breakdown, praising the patience, and reminding everyone that chasing a mover isn't easy when the opponent's entire goal is survival. Parker also gave JakePaul his due, acknowledging the courage it took to step in and the fact that he lasted far longer than anyone predicted, even if the ending was always inevitable.
The sad thing is, I think if JakePaul was fit enough and he had the energy and the engine, which he hasn't got, because he's not a professional athlete. You know, he goes in the gym every day and he trains and he's fit and he trains like a pro. That don't make you a professional fighter. What makes you a professional fighter is building yourself up through the ranking system, earning your position in the professional sport, and you know, proving yourself, climbing the rankings, getting the right wins at the right time. He's jumped the queue, and JakePaul, because of the old money. So he's in there with a guy he's got no chance of beating. Can't do anything with him, can't hurt him with a shot. So he's on survival mode, running, holding, falling on the floor. It was an embarrassment. That's what it was. Embarrassment. I would have been embarrassed if I was AJ, but I'd have been like disgusted with myself and completely embarrassed if I'm JakePaul.
And that's what this fight ultimately became. Inevitability versus illusion. Experience versus confidence. Reality crashing violently into marketing. From brutal knockouts to savage criticism, this fight exposed everything. Joshua's power, JakePaul's limits, and the thin line between entertainment and embarrassment in boxing.
It took him a while to get it, he had to break him down and chase it down and unleash his powerful shot.
Was it a little too long to get done, or?
Yeah, listen, when you fight someone like that, it moves around a lot, then you have to try and pick your moments, pick your shots.
Yeah.
That's what he did, so congratulations to Joshua.
Man, and credit to JakePaul, right, for even taking the challenge.
He's a very gutsy man.
Yeah. So, he got up, what, 3 times? I mean, you felt that power. Are you impressed that he lasted that long?
Very much.
Yeah.
If you want the next breakdown before it explodes, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the fallout from this fight is far from over, and the next matchup could be even more controversial. Now tell me in the comments, who should Anthony Joshua fight next? And is JakePaul done chasing heavyweight dreams, or is he just getting started?